W R. No, the Wild Robot.
Oh, WR, baby.
I already forgot what we were gonna fucking watch. I was like, W.
Dude, what's the other word?
Not a B. Wild Robot in 3D.
Yeah, this will be fun, I think.
It's an hour and 40. Hour and 40 minutes.
Good time.
Perfect time because we both got an hour and a half drive
home.
home.
One trailer of this, I think. Two.
I only saw it once.
Okay.
That I can remember.
Then I've only seen it once.
So I just remember watching it like, wow, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think I want to see it. Or I remember saying I'd see that.
Yeah, well, what company is it? It's not Pixar.
I don't know. I don't remember. Wasn't paying attention, but I'll tell you when we get going on it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a decent movie. It's probably wholesome. It's going to be like, it's going to have some life lessons in it and all that stuff and good stuff and maybe some humor, maybe heartbreak. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like he's separated from, he's not with, from what I gather, it's a robot that gets left behind or something.
And then kind of adapts to animal life.
Yeah, and then like
deer and stuff.
Is smart enough to communicate with them and start using their language back with them and stuff. Yeah, and all that, or whatever. And
I don't know.
And then it looks like the robot sent wherever he's from, come back and take him
try to
or
get
something,
him, or maybe they're trying
belong
to
there, or
harvest
they're trying
the animals.
Deforest. If this is this might be.
If this is Fern Gully Avatar.
Right, I was gonna say it's Fern. Yeah, I was like, what's that movie? I love Fern Gully. That's a great fucking. But we don't need the rehash. We don't need that again.
Come on.
It might be that. I think it might be, and like
You know what though? Alien robots don't need wood. Period.
Why was he building a fire to stay warm?
No, I'm saying you just said deforestation.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe they need.
Here's the thing: we seen the trailer once.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was like a real short trailer.
It was.
So that's good.
Good job, guys.
Speaking of trailers, because we just got off a trailer kick. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say because I have very little to go off of.
I'm
sure it'll be heartwarming.
I'm gonna be like, it's a 6. It's probably like.
Think so? I bet it'll be 7, 8. I'm sure.
Maybe.
I wonder if.
I have a feeling I might be bored, and 3D is gonna keep me interested.
I have a feeling that I might get.
Oh no! Oh, teary-eyed?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
It seemed because
if it has heart, then you're gaining points. With
I remember
me
when I watched the trailer, I was like, "Wow, that probably is gonna be really sad."
Yeah.
But
it might be. I hope I don't. It might be Wall-E, where it all comes around together and everything's happy in the end.
Sure.
Even though you're like, third act breakup, sadness.
When we get done with this and tell you all about it, we'll tell you what type of movie it is for kids or for whatever, and for kids with short attention spans. We'll get you. We'll get you guys the knowledge.
The knowledge.
The knowledge you need. To whatever to make your own decisions. Yeah, but we're gonna let you go so we can go do this and good
enough.
See us. Boom, saw the Wild Robot. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is because it has to
in
be
3D. I'll admit the 3D was pretty cool.
It wasn't bad.
The movie actually was it was a lot more interesting than I thought.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it was also a lot like more cliche and lame than I thought it would be too.
So there's a lot of emotions in this movie, surprisingly.
And it's all music based.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine watching this without fucking...
What if there was no soundtrack?
You'd be like, come on. It would feel dull.
I don't know. There's 3 distinct parts of the movie that I'm like, oh, dude, shut it off. Like, it was so... Because there's 2 songs that have lyrics. I can touch the sky.
Yeah.
And then the end one, and it's like they have lyrics, and it's during these long montages, and I was so annoyed. I couldn't stand it.
You were so annoyed.
I was, man.
There are other things that I was more annoyed with.
There was. There's a lot of story beats and things.
Yeah.
That are...
So I'm going to say this. This is the concept of death as a joke is really played a lot in this.
Yes.
It's really
kind of
disturbing how...
It's kind of dark.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, he tries to rescue this bird. Boom, it dies, and then he's holding its bird head.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of moments where
things,
a bunch of animals die and gets crushed, and they just play it off like, oh, whatever. That's just how it happens.
Yeah, it's like they don't
eat or be eaten.
It's survival of the fittest, man. So
I'm starting to regret just going with the windows down.
I can hear us echoing off the building over here.
It's not even that. It's starting to get fucking warm again.
Oh, well.
But
do whatever. Whatever you got to do, man.
I don't know. It said it's 79, but when I got out here, I was like, oh, it's not that bad. We'll just go with the windows down.
I feel like, so we didn't realize it, but this has a pretty big all-star cast.
I recognize like one main voice, and I was like, oh no shit, it's the dude from IT Crowd, the original British one, Matt Berry. And I was right, but then we find out that Mark Hamill's the bear, fucking Pedro Pascal's the fucking fox, and I was like, oh my god.
Just the list, you're like, oh.
There's quite a few of them.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay, so let's just cut it into slices here. I did like the art style. I thought it was pretty good.
It worked.
Except
the humans look dumb, but they always do.
It's like,
they fucking always do.
It's weird how that happens. Like they can do all the animals, and they all sort of look like they belong in the same art style, and then you get to humans, you're like, that is not right, and that's disturbing.
It's like the humans in WALL-E. It's like
wow, they were just fucking nasty in that movie.
Well, I know, but it was like just overblown. Like their heads are, in this one their heads are way too fucking big, and shit like that.
The exaggeration.
I have a big head, so I relate, but I have a big fucking head.
So I felt a little more normal than your average moviegoer.
I don't know. It was good. I think lighting-wise, it was good. The 3D was good.
Soundtrack
there was a lot of cool emotional lighting things because the robots got glowiness, and it would always be like cool silhouettes.
Emotions were displayed in the different colors.
Correct.
And stuff like that.
And it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
It crashed a few points in the story beats.
There's a lot of just dumb things that happen in this movie that we kept just looking at each other like, are you serious? Like, it's
like robots, like, I don't know. There's
one of the messages of this movie is that even if you're a robot, as long as you have love, you don't need anything. You don't need your internal parts.
You can rip out your internal organs.
You don't need anything.
I don't need this because I got
run off of love, apparently.
Come back to life from love.
Stupid.
All kinds of shit. I kept thinking like Huey Lewis on the news. It's the power of love.
Literally, it powers my body.
It kept happening.
Oh man. So I think the first part. So there are several montages in this that speed up through time. It does take place over a long, like a whole season, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
a whole year,
actually, technically. But it's
actually technically two, because they have two winners. Because the end one, when they're all telling stories with the winner.
True. That's
not
true.
to spoil it.
2 years worth of shit. So yeah, I mean, to break it down, voice acting was fine. The art was good. Music was fine. Pacing was pretty good.
I didn't like the music.
I thought it was fine.
I don't like the fucking singing montage parts. I was super annoyed.
Well,
and then the
I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying it wasn't like it was unfitting.
But it was so loud you couldn't.
Yeah, that's true.
You literally couldn't hear explosions over the.
That's true. There are explosions. Spoiler.
Yeah, but you couldn't even hear them because the music was so fucking loud.
Yeah,
and it was like annoyingly uplifting to me.
Yeah,
because it was like, this should be horrible. Shit's burning down. People are dying, and you're like, oh,
people are dying.
They just make it so like monumentally inspiring. It's like, no.
Well, the heroes are trying to whatever. The fucking heroes.
I liked the first half of the movie.
I was gonna say, I think I like that a little better.
I like the first half of the movie, except I feel like it's so fast-pacedly Star Wars-y, sliding down hills, bumping head on it.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's like the first 20-something minutes is like this like chase because you find out that raccoons are like fucking piranhas.
Oh my god!
And they can just
like, it's really weird.
It's
like
weird.
Without spoiling it, how intelligent the animals are in the sense of like every animal can talk to any other animal. By the way, so keep that in mind.
I don't know why I had it in my head that there was like no talking.
because who would a robot talk to, right?
But the trailer, did that have talking in it? That was so long ago, I don't remember. But
I don't think it did.
Yeah, but so it's really interesting and cool. She curls up in a ball and says, "Okay, learning protocol."
She's so
and then,
it sits and
listens for like 2 weeks
and puts together like a bunch of like language models for every animal.
So then suddenly she knows how to talk to and listen to squirrels, raccoons, porcupines, everything.
That's how that happens. But without spoiling it, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. There's some stuff to unpack in there.
I don't really care.
I get it.
I think kids will fucking like it.
I mean, think this.
It's kind of dark.
It's got the.
There's a lot of
the ugly duckling syndrome going on.
He's a runt.
Yeah,
he's a runt.
There's shit going on.
It's
kind of. It's neat. It teaches perseverance. It teaches love. It teaches trusting people.
I don't think it really teaches any of that because there's no real arcs. The arc is that I think I love now, but I'm still a robot, so I don't really get it.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily a story about her. It's about
everyone
else, and she's the center of like how she just by being around changes other people, and they all have arcs because she's there.
So
it's not
during
really
the movie, the main duck character, it's fucking hilarious. I laughed a bunch because
there is some funny shit.
He's being raised by a robot, so every fucking. He like walks out in the woods like beep boop boop beep boop boop. He's trying to act like replicate his mom.
And then he says shit like in robotic speak, like
analyzing mass right now.
Like
and then but that makes it even worse at the certain point when he's like really, like it's so obvious it's a giant robot and he's a duck. He's like, "You're not my mom."
Not my mom.
Like. I was like, this is the third act breakup? It was like in the first act.
The first quarter, I was like, oh,
but it was still like, what? You're that dumb? Like, look at her.
Well, it was the first thing he saw right out of the egg, so you don't know any better.
It's fine.
Until you meet a bunch of other geese or whatever the fuck they were. So I'm going to just rate this. I
was 5 or 6 when I walked out. I was like 5 or 6. It has a lot of redeeming stuff. It's a little bit not for me. And I feel like the bumbling, fast pace of the beginning, ultimately, it hurts the first half, which is the only part that I like.
There's a lot of heart and emotional...
At a certain point, I just didn't like the rest of the movie.
Stuff to it. Yeah, I get that. I'm going to rate this as a 5.
I'm going to give it a 5, too.
It's right down the middle. I think it's a good kids movie. It teaches some good values. But I as an adult,
I agree with that.
I don't know.
But
it teaches you a lot about death.
Sure does. The possum characters, like, I swear they just want to die.
They don't even care. They're just like, I guess I'm dead.
All right, 5s all around.
Yep.
Like I said, I was 5, 6, just because visually it was really awesome.
Yeah, it has.
The acting's good, and I thought it was interesting how they portrayed like the future and all this stuff.
Yeah, this does take place at an undisclosed time. I think global warming happened and whatever.
Yeah, because
really
there's the fucking the Golden Gate Bridge is like 100 feet underwater,
so that tells you something.
But I don't know. So it's a 5.
Yep.
Spoilers.
Wow.
It gets fucking dumb about halfway. I fucking was like, it lost me.
So essentially, Robot is one of 6 robots that got caught in a typhoon that did get delivered to where they're supposed to go.
And land on that island.
So, and then she wakes up, she's like, oh my god, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then she accidentally falls and destroys...
It murders this duckling's mom and brothers and sisters.
Yep, and then...
We don't gotta do a rundown, but...
There's one egg, and then... So that's how they get...
That's the trailer.
Yeah.
Let's skip ahead. She trains him to fly. And in the trailer, you think that's the end of the movie, but it's just getting started at that point. We're about a third through the movie when he learns to fly.
Yep.
And then
her thing is she takes orders and then like she has to complete them. So
a ROS unit 915 always completes its
along the way they meet the fox, which is interesting. He's a decent character.
He's probably the best character.
Maybe
he has an arc actually.
Yeah, he does.
He wants to eat the duck. At first, I fucking was like, is this the character? Oh, he's eating all the time?
Yeah, it doesn't change.
Tricks the robot into, like, getting him all his food, and he just gets all fucking bloated. And
fat and farty and shit. And then, so where does it go from there? So,
let's just skip ahead. She teaches him to fly. Boom. He's been resented, or like his whole flock doesn't like him because
he's a runt.
Raised by a monster.
Short wings. He's like not fully.
Yeah.
He's not.
So they do this training montage of him, and they put rocks on his wings.
Dude, it's
was like Rocky.
Ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
Rocky, exactly.
Then they fly out. Okay, so it tracks the fucking flock, and it's like, oh yeah, big lightning storm. We have to fucking land. We have to, or we're all gonna die from getting struck by lightning. They go in this human facility.
They happen to go to this.
We need shelter.
Super cities that we have in the future. Apparently,
it's got this. Okay, whatever. Okay,
we don't know the technology.
We don't know the technology, but if you're designing a greenhouse, why would you have 500-foot ceilings?
Higher, probably.
700-foot ceilings.
Oh, I'm thinking like fucking
1,200-foot ceilings.
That's more like it.
Okay.
So like Empire State Building, you go right in there. You just Statue of Liberty, right in there. You just fit right in it. It's just a bit. Well, yeah, I don't understand. It's like glass domes or something. Like
it's a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Because they're in the future after global warming.
I will say
giant fucking facilities.
When they showed the glass pieces or whatever the fuck that was, they were hexes, and apparently, if you make a dome or a sphere out of hex-shaped like smaller parts, it's the only structure that gets stronger the bigger it gets. Huh. That's a weird thing. That's why beehives use it.
But anyway, here's what happens. Okay, they go into the ducks all come in undetected, and we're talking 500 ducks.
You know that no,
it's probably more.
Base has 5 billion like
sensors.
Cameras. Yeah, whatever.
Maybe 800 ducks or something. 1,000 ducks in that flock.
Sure.
They all come in through the fucking ventilation system.
Hide, everybody!
No one knows. Notices there's a billion people tending crops and robots.
The amount of shit falling out of the sky would have been alerting some shit.
Yep, and so then they all fucking hide in the bushes of like corn and shit. And you're like, okay.
It's like a second.
This is still pretty stupid, but I was like still okay with it. I was like, okay. And then the Bright Bill, the main character, is such a fucking idiot. He's like, sees a robot. He's like, is that Roz? I just flew 500 miles. Roz, is that you? Like his robot that he left.
He's not the brightest. I don't know why they call him Bright Bill because he's not.
He's Dim Bill. He's an idiot.
He's Dumb Bill.
Anyway,
Dumb Bill.
So he comes out, like talks to the robot, and it's like contamination. And there's 1,000 million robots that are doing the crop
same
work.
Same exact model.
And like they all hid except for him. Like,
I don't get it.
Contamination. Then these giant mechs come out with laser guns.
In the future, where you're pretty damn well sure there are no wars, but yet you have these sentinel bots that are just fucking killing machines.
So it spooks all the fucking birds. They fly up in this big. They're in this big biosphere.
It's a cloud. And
they're flying out, and you know what? All these robots, mechs on the ground go.
What do they go?
Boom, 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 boom. They blow the fuck out of everything.
They're just wiping out their greenhouse.
They blow all these holes in the ceiling in the greenhouse, and even there's these pillars that have like plants on them. They're just boom, boom, boom.
They don't care.
They're just eradicating it all.
They've got one mission and one mission only: kill any geese that can.
Don't make it that easy for 1,000 geese to come in there.
They're so advanced, and not one of those shots hit.
I know.
There's dinner. There's dinner. There's dinner.
The fucking robots blow the fuck out of their greenhouse. And then there's this guy named Longneck. And he's the one that's he's like the sage of the group. He's like, I know this.
One of the oldest.
I've been on this migration route 1 billion times. You can fly with me.
Yeah, he's been trying to get Dumb Bill, whatever.
Right, Bill, Dumb Bill, fucking Dim Bill.
He's been trying to like coach him.
Low beams. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. So then, fucking Longneck comes in there, and he goes, and these mechs are huge, and he's like this little old duck guy. He's like fighting him, trying to get his gun.
He's like, everybody follow Dumb Bill.
Everyone fucking follow him out of here, and then I'm gonna distract one of these mechs.
It's so Rudolph, it's not even funny.
Yes,
hence the nose name, but also like he's
Bright
special
Bill, with your
because
bill so bright. Anyway,
you feel so different.
Long neck gets fucking turned into a fucking roast chicken.
He does. He gets
blasted.
I mean, there's death in this.
There's a bunch of death in this movie. It's a little bit drastic,
but it's like it's got that whole like. Because he's different and he's got shorter wings, he
more maneuverable.
And he flies more like a hawk because a hawk trains him how to helps him train how to fly earlier in the movie, and so like it does have that like I'm special and I'm the only one who can lead us. It's like Christmas.
Yes, it is. Anyway, so then years fucking low beams. Years later, the next spring, the fucking Roz is the robot's name. Decided to stick around and wait for fucking Bright Bill to come back. So oh no, they weather the storm.
Oh dude, so dumb. So this the worst winter storm I've ever seen. It's like she gets this wild hair up her ass.
It's the worst storm we've ever seen in our
she built this giant hut for
this big wood dome.
The two other living
for Bright Bill and the fucking fox, which
right?
is named Think.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
so this time around, it's such a bad storm. She just goes out into the woods on the island and starts finding all the families.
Every single animal on the whole fucking island.
That's not possible.
Gets them all and throws them all in this dome, and then and they start fighting because they're all different species. And
and like it's all food chain right there. The whole chain is like all the way from a bear down to a fucking.
The fox is like, hey, shut up. Stop! Now, Roz saved you all, so you need to respect it,
At
bro.
this point, she's dying because she's got like a fluid leak.
Dying.
She's running out of...
No, it was a storm, so she had no sun.
Oh.
Remember, she's like fully operational the next day?
Well, why was it showing like she was leaking fluids and stuff
Just to get you to worry a little bit, even though it didn't pay off?
It didn't. That's why I was like, oh.
Anyway,
she's
so they all fucking they all sleep in all of them hibernate together.
Kill any of you, the big bear, and then they all cuddle around him. And
so dumb.
It
was so dumb.
That's where I lost a lot of points for me.
It all started with the fucking biodome and the lasers. It was
God. Went completely
and then immediately after, it's the fucking winter scene where everyone's hibernating. And then, right after that, the migration comes back. And then the fucking ship comes to take take Roz back.
Because she apparently, in order to function or survive on the island, she rewrote her own program.
Yeah.
To think differently or whatever.
And then the main robot's like, hey, you can't be doing that. Oh my God, you're the greatest specimen. We need to learn from you.
Take your memories, and we're gonna. So they try to abduct her and whatever, and drain her brain.
So what happens is then they're like, no, you can't take her
ever.
So actually, right before she gets taken. Because she's like, I left one thing. I gotta talk to Bright Bill. So then they send 6 giant fucking mechs with laser guns at them, and then
oh my God, does this get out of control?
It's so dumb because then
there's a huge fight.
Bears,
all of the animals are attacking these.
Kill them all.
These gigantic robots that have huge laser guns.
It starts out because they're like, we need to fucking capture her and then read all her memories and learn from it.
Yep.
Why the fuck are you shooting at her? With giant laser beams. Everything's blowing up. They blow up the whole forest. It all lights on fire.
Well, somehow the animals can just go, hey, and then their heads blow up. And,
and the raccoons all swarm one another. And then
they're like shredded.
And then they got guns and they're shooting the other robots with their lasers.
The movie was
plausible,
believable. It's just some degree of
this
fantasy.
Happens,
and then you see this. You're like, now we're in a fucking.
So then it's on
cartoon.
fire. The whole forest on fire.
They all blew the main bot.
They all started shooting on
them to self-destruct.
Oh yeah, self-destruct.
So then it starts a huge forest fire, and then
they get Roz. So let's get back to that. They get Roz on the ship, and then 1,000 ducks go up and fucking take down the ship, the robot ship.
Kamikaze.
Yep, kamikaze.
They fly into the windshield.
They know how to like disable guns. They get on the guns and aim them back up at the ship somehow.
While they're going,
and it blows the ship up.
It's
and all this stupid shit happens.
It's like
it's so fucking stupid. God, it gets dumb. And then that ship gets blown up. And then they're like, hey, guess what? The only way. So there's this tree.
The forest fire is
There's this tree.
spreading.
Oh, I'm gonna show you. This tree is literally as big as the fucking parking lot.
Oh, it's huge.
Like for real. I think I gotta turn the car back on for AC. This thing's overheating.
Okay.
But
like imagine like a redwood forest, you know, like
that's how big. That's how big the
like,
tree is.
Maybe bigger.
Like 150 feet wide.
Like diameter.
Like, that's the base of the trunk.
That's just the start of it, right? So anyway, but now you think that's pretty big, right? Except.
I did think that.
But I don't think a tree that big would do what it did.
I don't think a tree like that could exist. No, what happens is this beaver. So here's the tree. This beaver has been eating at it like here.
Years, right? Yeah.
So consider the size of that tree. It probably weighs, several thousand tons.
Tons, yeah.
So
but that's okay. They have a bear on.
They got a bear. So the bear. So where it's all carved out, the bear comes over here and goes and boop, tips the tree. Tree lands in the river, diverts the river, all the water.
It splashes so hard.
I think it diverts it.
Oh,
so
great.
the
So
river
he just fucked
up the whole
landscape.
ecosystem.
Yeah, all the beavers downstream are.
It's an island that's the fresh water somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway, it diverts and floods over.
Right. I thought it was just one big splash. I'm like, that's fucked, man.
It's even worse that it's a river.
It's like a fucking like a dam broke.
Let's see if there's cold air. Yeah,
and it's just like
no, we're good.
And whatever. So that's how they put the fire out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Smart
it fucking
animals.
is.
Really smart animals.
Strong fucking bear.
Strong.
Because it's like a bunch of beavers or like a bunch of raccoons on each other's backs, and the bear.
They're all, the
whole animal forest kingdom came together and pushed up on this tree to knock it over. And then,
unbelievable.
Right while this is happening,
achievement.
Right, Bill. So they already eradicated all the memories out of Roz. And then
they did,
right? Bill goes up. He's like, "Oh no!"
And she's
dead.
like drained and basically powered down.
She's dead. I thought that was the lighting in that scene was awesome. I was like, "That's really nice looking."
It was.
It looked great. But he lays on her shoulder, and he lays his head down, and he goes, "I love you, Mom." And then it's the power of love. The power of love.
Okay. Anyway.
Hey
man, I love that.
Comes back a lot. Well, the song's fine, but
especially in Back to the Future.
The idea is stupid.
Yeah, so she just powers back.
It's like the end of the Matrix.
How the fuck did that happen?
It's like the end of Transformers 2.
It's irritating because it's like you're Tin Man and now you have a heart and is this are we borrowing from other material?
And then there's not much of her insides. There's this power core.
It's weird. It's like
and she's like, okay, we gotta go. This ship's gonna blow up. And she like rips a hole in the bottom and you see the fire down there.
Yep.
And then you're like,
oh, bottom of the ship.
Oh, like, how am I gonna do that? And she's like, he wounded himself when he kamikazed through the window.
Yeah, he just,
he went through the window of the ship.
Boom.
Bam! And then goes and saves her or whatever through the power of love. But what happens is, he's like, I can't fly. So she goes, what? Rips her power core.
I'll just tear my entire power supply out.
Whee! And he's like, but you need that. And she's like, you're all I need or something.
Some really fucked like that.
Yeah, or I have everything I need. Rips it out, shoves him in there when he's not that big. He's the runt.
You can clearly see he could have fit in there
with
without
the power core.
That shit out. So
then she turns into a ball, falls out the ship, lands in a lake. Everyone's happy. Everything happens.
And then
that's basically
it. They come back and get her anyway.
They come back and get her anyway. And it's like, they're like, oh, but everything we fought for, and like, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, you'll have it all, some. And I was like looking, and it shows the entire island's like burnt down.
Yeah, there's nothing.
And I was like, we have everything, whatever.
Yeah,
like, no, you don't.
It's just
you lost your entire habitat.
It's rotten.
But anyway.
So then she gets
abducted, and then Bright Bill sneaks back into that fucking place and finds her.
Oh yeah, it's this movie. Anyway,
it's like heartwarming, uplifting, and then this music plays, and I was gonna fucking puke.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna be like, okay, like
lost a point for puke.
Oh, I would have. No, I don't want to puked. 3D was good.
Yeah, overall, I don't know. I think this is a pretty.
If your kids drag it to you,
kids movie.
If your kids drag you to it, make sure it's in 3D.
And make sure they know what death is, because they're going to learn.
There's a lot of things
if they
die.
don't know already. It's so weird how death is all around. Like, even like they're digging through the snow trying to find all these families, and like, oh no, it's too
He's
late.
dead. Cover back up.
Yeah, it's like it just death is repeatedly a thing in this movie.
If you break it down, there's probably 15 deaths.
Literally. And they're
not to mention all the ducks that probably die from all the
just
shit.
From like, oh, that one didn't go through the window.
Well, because
that one didn't go through.
You're in the ship, right, with this main robot that's like, I'm taking you back, and fucking, it's like this big cockpit. Like it's a big cockpit.
It's a massive.
It's maybe 30 feet all the way around or something, and just constantly. You see these ducks
cracks like smacking
on the window.
One of those is a death.
Yes.
It's like every one of them
for real.
But what's his name? Logie. Logie manages to make it.
Yeah, he has to go right through.
So that is just fucking.
I don't know.
So I think that like the exploration to the arc, of the whole story of how something way out of place can find its place, and
true,
like that's the
fish
concept.
Out of water adapts.
Yeah, and so it worked out. I think
by the end they're like, Bright Bill, we love you because you found the migration path.
Yeah, instead everyone thought she was a monster.
On their back. They're like, it was like
right. It's kind of cheesy. It's I don't know. That's why I gave it a 5. I feel like there's a lot of good things about this movie, and I do respect it. It's just, it's not for...
Like I said, it was super interesting.
Yeah.
The first half was super solid.
Yeah.
That's why it's like half of it's bad, half it's good. It's average.
Corny and cartoon.
Yeah, it was like, it is a cartoon, dude.
No, but I mean, it got slapsticky almost.
It did.
And like
those robots just blasted the fuck out. How are they not programmed to not do that?
How are they missing their shots? That's what I'm.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
like,
laser guns,
dude. The AI, however many gajillion years in the future this is just gonna be like what? No, how would you ever
probably just do some sort of like, I don't know, electromagnetic pulse thing that zaps them all and drops them all, or so. I don't know,
something way more advanced. Because they had floating objects and things that didn't necessarily have propulsion. Like
I don't know,
like robots that hover around.
Like I said, I know kids will like it.
Yeah.
It tries so fucking hard to be emotionally.
There are parts where I was like, ooh, that mom-son bond thing going on, and the love that happens there, and with other characters too.
I didn't really get that much.
I got enough.
Other movies, I feel like even Inside Out 2 was even more.
I thought you hated that movie. I didn't give it 4 or something.
I think I gave it a 5.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was a 4.
I mean, it's not the worst. Well,
I just feel like they built that character better.
Yeah.
I don't get
this is like kind of like a weird, like, it's Wizard of Oz.
Especially because
fucking,
at that certain point he's like, you're not my mom, I'm leaving.
Early on too.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, he doesn't want me in his life, and then it just never gets resolved until the very, very end. Yeah. So it's kind of just like, it just, I don't know, whatever. But
it doesn't matter. We gave it 5s.
Yeah,
I would say, I don't know.
Spiel it up, B.
Okay, well, on that note, like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, leave a comment.
No way!
Wow! Is this a 5 to you guys? Is this? I mean, for a kids movie, I think
most people will be higher than that. So, but remember, 5's average.
Yeah,
remember that shit.
That's like a C.
Super important.
It's a C. Keep that in mind.
But most people's scales, especially
start at 7.
Especially for video games, 7 is average, which is bullshit.
Which is not. That's not how that works. So you never use anything lower.
No, most people don't.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
This isn't.
That's why I kind of like the 5-star thing.
They're still thinking like they're in high school or college with.
Yeah.
whatever.
We grade movies on a curve.
We do, baby. Anyway. Yeah, well, then we, you know what?
There has to be F's. There has to be.
So movies are automatically failures.
Yeah, even if they're good. Oh, it's a little bit less than this one, so
no,
it's a D.
Wrong bracket, sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, we'll catch you guys later in another edition of Vertical Slice. Thanks for joining us.